Irish guy, and stop. Just stop. Stop being terrified of Bayern Munich. Arsenal have got this. Lads, I'm going to warn you now. This is going to be an incredibly weird feeling for you all. This summer, some Tottenham fans are probably going to feel like sprinkling poison under their morning Weetabix because they are probably going to want to spend the next 9 months in a coma. Lads, Arsenal are going to be champions of Europe in May. Lads, that is a strange feeling. Arsenal have always been a proud, top, historic club, but I've never truly believed at any point in watching them that they were going to win the Champions League. This is a club who've come about as close to winning that thing as Spurs. I mean, both teams have reached the final. To be fair, Arsenal were winning their showpiece match against Barcelona for about an hour, while Spurs were level at 0-0 for a minute, conceding a penalty to Liverpool after 25 seconds. But lads, even when the Gunners were sewing up a Premier League title unbeaten in 2004, I still didn't expect them to win the Champions League. They'd only just unconvincingly scuttled through the group after taking 1 point from the first 3 matches. I'm sorry, but no team goes on to win the Champions League after beginning the campaign by losing 3-0 at home to a very average Inter Milan. I mean, the greatest Arsenal team of our generation was being knocked out of the Champions League by a Chelsea team with Marco Ambrosio in goal. Sorry, Ambrosio? Is that not a bloody yogurt? Arsenal's participations in the knockout rounds of this competition were getting steadily more and more embarrassing under Arsene Wenger. If they weren't getting regularly chewed apart by Barcelona, they were getting absolutely embarrassed by Bayern Munich, who used to regularly eat the Gunners as if they were a tray of chicken nuggets and chuck in the odd laughable knockout round defeat to PSV or Monaco. Arsenal fans have experienced so much pain in this competition, conceding 4 goals at Anfield in a Champions League quarter-final second leg, letting their grudge enemies Manchester United win 3-1 at the Emirates in a Champions League semi-final, where Ronaldo banged in a free kick that was so far out, he probably needed binoculars to see the goal. The Gunners have experienced so many dreadful moments in this tournament that the final nadir was conceding 10 goals over 2 legs against Bayern Munich in 2017. I think those Arsenal fans, yeah, I mean, they look angry on the internet afterwards, yeah, but I don't think they really got that out of their system. For some of them, I'd have been too scared to share the same tube ride home. One of them would probably have snapped like a twig and decided to stab everyone's eyes out with a pencil. Arsenal needed those 5 seasons of time out in the Europa League where they could regroup. I mean, they lost to Bayern Munich 5-1 thrice in 2 years. Thrice! And so here I am tipping them to win the Champions League now? Am I mad? Am I borderline insane? Lads, do you think I want to be proven right? Do you think inside the space of 12 months, I want to see both Jack Grealish and Declan Rice winning the Champions League as £100 million superstars? 2 guys who once treated the Ireland badge as if it was a tissue at KFC. They might as well have used that flag to wipe poo off their chin. What, is it not that messy for everyone when they use the loo? Seeing both these guys chilling together in Marbs with Champions League medals wrapped around their necks, I mean, in their exclusive celebrity-only hotel, then having a Champions League medal is probably akin to having an exclusive blue tick on Twitter. Before Musk changed the rules. Nowadays, I mean, even Fogdad's dog can have a blue tick if he's willing to cough up the monthly £9. But yes, the thought of it. Rice holding aloft that trophy with tears in his eyes. That does cause me to contemplate whether or not I want to drown my lungs in toothpaste. But it's not just me. Think of the Chelsea fans. Having seen their ex-rejects Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne both go on to win the Champions League, now they can add this former dorky schoolboy to the list. Someone who, 10 years ago, the Chelsea scouts assumed would grow up to be, at best, another Richard Dunn. I actually blame Chelsea for getting my hopes up, because clearly that crushing rejection stayed with Rice. He must have clearly decided, oh, well, I'm definitely not good enough for England then. Because the following year, he was playing for the Republic of Ireland under 17s, the start of an ugly, toxic relationship where he quickly outgrew us and decided, nah, mate, I don't actually care that my granny's from Cork. I'd sooner drink mouse pubes through a straw than commit to this rubbish Ireland team. To be fair, we probably should have seen the overwhelming clue that his heart belongs somewhere else from his Ireland under 17 debut, because the midfield 3 was Rice playing beside Jack Clark, born in Birmingham, and someone called Richie English. I mean, come on! You might as well have stamped a Union Jack in the centre circle. But lads, think of the Manchester United fans when Gabriel Martinelli holds the Champions League trophy. You know, the little Brazilian schoolboy who they rejected after 4 separate trials at Carrington. Christ above, 4 trials. Who does he think he is, Talisa? I mean, this is Paul Pogba posing with this awkward, mousy little boy. Lads, within 7 years, one would be lifting a Champions League trophy, while the other would no longer be playing football. Oh, I am sorry. Everyone would have bet their house on Pogba being that European champion, with this little scruffy child now probably working the night shift at Burger King. Don't be scared of Bayern Munich. This is your perfect redemption arc. This is not the same Bayern team that ate you like scrambled eggs 7 years ago. Obviously, it was 7 years ago. That was a true world-class team, filled with absolute superstars and were coached by an absolute European don in Carlo Ancelotti. Everybody was on the same page at that club. This Bayern team is a disorganized, haphazard, toxic unit, where half the dressing room clearly hates the coach. Look, I don't want to make it like Tuchel's impending departure means that it's like the last day of school. I mean, we all know back in January 2013 that Bayern boss Jupp Heynckes would be replaced by Pep Guardiola in the summer. It would have been easy for the Bayern players to go lazy, down tools, and just be mentally on the beach until Pep arrives. No, they instead went and won the treble, making it kind of awkward for Pep when he arrived in Germany. They were already the perfect team. There wasn't really anything for him to improve, except just win it better. He was almost like Brian Clough at Leeds. So I'm not saying that the Bayern players are on the beach now. No. And to be fair, they are still dangerous. They've scored 8 goals in 2 different Bundesliga matches this season. Harry Kane already has 36 goals and 4 hat-tricks to his name. They are a scary unit going forward, but they are also vulnerable at the back. They are trailing Bayer Leverkusen by 10 points. A Leverkusen team who are officially a Europa League side. Remember when no Arsenal fan was bothered when Granit Xhaka signed for them, as they were clearly a massive step down? Yeah, that step down is making Bayern look foolish. Don't you tell me that Arsenal cannot beat Bayern Munich. They can. They absolutely can. They can blow them away at the Emirates. The pace of Saka and Martinelli can roast them like Rice Krispie buns. I think you hammer them 4-0 at the Emirates. The payback for the disgrace of 2017. And then, I actually think it's going to be a reverse of 2012 when AC Milan hammered you lot 4-0 in Italy and you almost clawed the great comeback by winning the second leg 3-0. Same thing kind of happened in 2015 when Monaco left the Emirates with a 3-1 win, and so you then beat them 2-0 in France, just losing on away goals. It was glorious failure under Wenger. So I think Bayern will angrily explode and yeah, pummel you 3-0. But I just think the Emirates is now a fortress, and that first leg win will be enough to see you through, and then you play either Real Madrid or Manchester City. Probably City. Why not? Why can't you take them over 2 legs? Nobody gave Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool a chance when they faced a perfect City team on course for 100 points. The Reds, by contrast, had been beaten 5-0 at the Etihad that season, and they had just lost in the FA Cup at home to West Brom. And yet, in that Champions League first leg at Anfield, they were 3-0 up at half-time. Even Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain had banked in a wonder goal. They beat Pep's perfect City 5-1 in aggregate. This rock and roll Arsenal team is just like Liverpool's one. Why can't they beat Man City over both legs too? And then the perfect arc, Arteta knocking out his master before facing Barcelona in the final. Yes, I know Barcelona have won the Champions League at Wembley before, but I'm sorry. Arsenal fans welcoming Barcelona to London to avenge their 2006 loss in Paris. This will be a combination where Arteta wipes the slate clean, avenging the 2 most painful European memories for Arsenal by beating both Bayern Munich and Barcelona, whilst tactically outwitting the bloke who he used to fetch cookies for at the Etihad. A battle between Xavi and Arteta in the final. Sign me up! That will be absolutely tasty. I think this Arsenal team have that dog in them for a European competition. The Emirates Stadium on Tuesday night for their frenetic, tension-filled game against Porto. To me, that looked like the best atmosphere it has ever been at that ground. I mean, you might think this is a crazy, almost disrespectful comparison, but it reminded me of Anfield on a European night. Mikel Arteta has tapped into something within this Arsenal fan base. If you can make that ground intimidating and wild, you've got every chance of winning the entire thing. And the lads, for the last few years, the Champions League has always been won by an old dog of a coach. 4 out of the last finals being won by managers either in their 50s or 60s, with the then 47-year-old Thomas Tuchel being the only outlier. Well, lads, between 2003 and 2012, Alex Ferguson was the only old coach who won the Champions League. Every other victorious manager was either in their 30s or 40s. Mourinho, Benitez, Guardiola, even Ancelotti were the new, fresh, young guns. Yes, I know it's weird to think of Ancelotti ever being young. It's like when someone shows me a photo of a young Marlon Brando. I just always think of him being that horse Italian potato threatening blokes at his daughter's wedding. But I think we are going to see a return of the old way of young managers winning the Champions League. Don't you tell me that Arteta is too young to do this. Jose Mourinho won this thing at 41 with Porto, the club where Arteta just knocked out. I mean, Rafa Benitez had just turned 45 when he made a dreadful Liverpool team champions of Europe. I mean, if they had lost that final to AC Milan, it would have been their 20th defeat of the season, including an FA Cup loss to grimy old Burnley. Champions of Europe when they had 19 L's in their pocket. Really? I think Arteta is a special coach. He will be older than Mourinho was when he won this thing, with Benny McCarthy, a future Blackburn and West Ham striker shoved up front, someone who would soon develop an intense fascination with donuts and pies, and I think Arsenal are going to win the Champions League. Anyway, oh, by the way, before we wrap this up, no Premier League predictions this week because, come on, there's only 4 games. I'm not going to do any forfeits this week, but okay, just off the top of my head, let's roll through them for anyone who wants it. Burnley 2, Brentford 1, Luton Town 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 1, Tottenham 3, and West Ham 1, Aston Villa 1. There's only 4 games. I'm not putting any Okay, actually I will. Alright, okay, I will. If I don't get at least 1 correct scoreline, then I will chuck a glass of orange juice in my face. Oh, and for all of you who want the couch forfeit, this was really a waste of my time. Do you know how heavy that couch was? Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Are Arsenal going to win it? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.